I plunged the knife into the roast beef not because it needed carving, but because if I didn't grip something sharp right then, I'd have carved at my brother's smug face instead. The dining room at La Bella Vita, our family's crown jewel. The Italian joint in the heart of Chicago's Little Italy that Dad built from a hole-in-the-wall dream, erupted in polite applause as Mom blew out her 70th candle, her frail hands trembling like the flame she'd just extinguished. But me? I was the ghost at the feast, shoved to the kids' table with the busboys and line cooks, my plate piled high with yesterday's scraps, while my siblings toasted with vintage Chianti from the private reserve. That was the hook they swallowed. I was the fuck-up, the black sheep who'd tanked the business years ago, the one who'd done time for a crime that wasn't mine. Little did they know, tonight I'd serve up the truth on a silver platter, and it would taste like blood and regret. It started 20 years back, in the sweltering summer of '05, when Chicago was choking on its own humidity and the Cubs were choking on another cursed season. I was 22, fresh out of community college with a business degree that felt as useful as a screen door on a submarine. Dad, Vinny Russo, the silver fox with a voice like gravel and a handshake that could crush walnuts, had built La Bella Vita from nothing.
Immigrants sans
Bootstraps and all that American grit.
Mom,
Elena was the heart. Her lasagna could make a mobster weep. Her tiramisu seal any deal.
me,
I was the eldest,
Tommy Russo,
the one Dad said had the fire in his belly to take over someday. My brother Marco, 3 years younger, was the charmer, always with a quip, a wink, always dodging the real work. And Sophia, the baby at 19, was the princess, flitting through life on Daddy's dime, dreaming of Broadway while waitressing tables for pocket change. That summer, the books were bleeding red. Some dipshit supplier had been shorting us on prosciutto, and the IRS was sniffing around like hounds on a bone. Dad pulled me into the office one night after close, the air thick with cigar smoke and desperation. "Tommy," he said, eyes like chipped flint, "we got a problem. Big one."
Marco,
He's been skimming. Small at first, cash from the register for his poker nights, but it snowballed. If the feds dig deeper, we're done. All of us. My gut twisted.
Marco,
The kid who shared my room growing up, who I'd covered for when he snuck out to chase skirts. But Dad's face told the truth. Betrayal cuts deepest from kin. "We need a fall guy," Dad whispered, like it was just another menu tweak. Someone to take the hit, plead to the lesser charge,
cook the books a bit,
make it look like embezzlement, not fraud. You do this, Tommy, and we keep the restaurant. Marco gets clean. Sophia stays in school. Mom never knows her boy's a thief. I stared at the family photo on the wall, us all smiles at the grand opening, and felt the weight of it settle like concrete in my chest. Refuse? Dad's heart was already ticker tape weak. The stress would kill him. Agree? I'd be trading my future for theirs. For the family, he pressed. And that was the knife twist. American dream,
right?
Sacrifice for the ones you love, even if it carves you hollow.
So, I did it.
Falsified ledgers. Signed the confessions. Took the plea deal, 5 years at Statesville. Minimum security, but maximum shame. Walked out at 27 with a record that slammed every door, no loans, no legit jobs. Just bouncing at dive bars and driving Uber in the dead of night. Marco, he stepped up. Saved the place from ruin. Married his high school sweetheart. Popped out 2 kids. Sophia landed a role off Broadway. Then back here slinging real estate like it was gelato. Mom doted on them. blind to the shadows. Dad? He passed 2 years after my release, heart attack, they said. But I knew it was guilt gnawing him from the inside. Buried him under the family plot. Whispered, "You owe me," into the dirt. Fast forward to now. December 2025. Chicago's wind howling like a banshee off Lake Michigan. Mom's big 7-0. The whole clan crammed into La Bella Vita's back room, velvet curtains, crystal chandeliers. The works. I've been back in town 6 months, crashing on a buddy's couch in Pilsen, scraping by on odd jobs. But I'd been watching. Quiet like. Marco's improvements to the restaurant, shady loans from connected guys, menu prices jacked to gouge the old neighborhood folks. Sophia, using the family name to flip properties, evicting tenants who'd been loyal customers for decades. And the kicker, they'd frozen me out of Dad's will, claiming I was unstable after prison. Everything, the deed, the recipes, the legacy to them. Me? A yearly stipend, like I was some charity case. The party kicked off with hugs and air kisses. Mom in her Sunday pearls, beaming like she'd won the lottery. Marco clapped me on the back. Too hard. Like he was reminding me who was boss now. Tommy, good to see you clean and sober. Bro. Sit over there with the staff. Save the big table for family. Sophia smirked from her perch, nursing a martini, her laugh tinkling like breaking glass. Yeah. Tommy? Don't want you spilling sauce on Aunt Rose's dress. The servers, good kids. Mostly immigrants like Dad once was, shot me sympathetic looks as I slid into the folding chair at their wobbly table. My plate? A sad wedge of cold polenta and a sprig of parsley. Theirs? Loaded with osso buco, courtesy of the family spread. I chewed slow, the bitterness blooming on my tongue. Across the room, Marco held court, regaling the cousins with tales of turning the place around. Lies. Everyone. I'd hacked into the old server last month, Dad's hidden backdoor code. A little gift he'd slipped me before he died. The books weren't just off, they were a goddamn Ponzi scheme. Marco cooking with union money. Sophia laundering flips through fake charities. And the secret they'd buried deepest? The real reason Dad pushed me under the bus. Not just Marco skimming. Dad himself, deep in debt to the outfit. Chicago's lingering mob ghosts. A protection racket gone south. A disappearance of a rival supplier. Dad pulled the trigger. Metaphorically. But Marco cleaned it up. And I confessed to the whole embezzlement as cover, shielding them both from murder one whispers. The candle smoke hung heavy as Mom cut the cake, her voice quavering through a toast. To family. Through thick and thin. We Russos stick together. Laughter rippled. Glasses clinked. I pushed back from the table, the metal legs scraping like nails on a chalkboard. Time to stick it to him. I grabbed the mic from the band setup, some Sinatra cover crooner mid-note, and flicked it on. Ladies and gents, I boomed, voice steady as a .45. Before we dig in, a little story about sticking together. The room hushed. Marco's fork froze midair. Sophia's eyes narrowed to slits. Mom tilted her head, confused smile faltering. Tommy, what are you? 20 years ago, I cut in. I went down for this family. Not for a slip-up. Not for bad luck. For you. I pointed at Marco. Then Sophia. Then the empty chair where Dad should have sat. Dad's debts. Marco's theft. Your complicity. I ate 5 years in a cage, so you could play kings and queens of the castle. Gasps rippled like wind through wheat.
Ha un rosa cross derself.
The servers leaned in, wide-eyed. Marco bolted up, face purple. You drunk asshole. This is Mom's night. Sit your ass down. But I wasn't done. I pulled the flash drive from my pocket, the digital grave I'd dug up, and plugged it into the projector. Screens flickered to life. Ledgers. Emails.
Wire transfers.
Exhibit A. Marco's poker fund. Siphoned from Mom's retirement stash. Exhibit B. Sophia's evictions. Tenants tossed like yesterday's linguine. The images burned bright. Indictments in pixel fire. Sophia lunged for the cord. But a server, big guy named Raoul, who'd heard my side in the kitchen, blocked her. Let him talk. Lady. The room split. Cousins murmuring. Uncles shifting uncomfortable. Mom clutched her napkin, tears carving tracks through rouge.
Tommy.
Is this true? Before I could answer, Marco charged the stage. Fist cocked. I sidestepped, years of yard fights kicking in, and he stumbled into the dessert cart. Tiramisu flew like shrapnel, splattering the family table. Chaos erupted, shouts, overturned chairs. But in that melee, I felt it, the first crack in their armor. Revenge wasn't the knife, it was the mirror, forcing them to see the monsters they'd fed. As cops' sirens wailed distant, someone must have dialed. I slipped to Mom's side, kneeling. It's true.
Ma.
But I'm fixing it. For Dad. For us. She searched my face, then nodded. A ghost of the fire that built this place. The night was young, and the real feast, just beginning. The sirens grew louder, slicing through the pandemonium like a cleaver through fat. Marco was on his feet now, dabbing mascarpone from his Armani shirt, bellowing for security, ironic, since the bouncers were my old cell block pals, hired under the table when I got out. Get this lunatic out, he roared, pointing at me like I was the devil incarnate. Sophia hovered by the bar, phone to her ear, whispering frantic to her lawyer shark, probably the same sleaze who'd drafted the will that screwed me. The relatives formed a murmuring wall, some nodding at the screen's damning glow, others shooting me death stares, loyal to the golden children. Mom sat frozen, cake fork limp in her hand, the weight of decades crashing down. I held the mic like a grenade pin. You want to talk lunacy, Marco? Let's talk about the night Dad died. The room sucked in breath. I'd never spoken it aloud. The poison I'd swallowed solo. Not a heart attack. Poison. Slow acting. Untraceable. Rat poison in his evening espresso. You thought I didn't know? The autopsy report you buried. The accidental mix-up at the lab. Marco's face drained to chalk, eyes darting like corner rats. Sophia gasped, hand to throat, performance or genuine. That's a lie. You're deranged. Tommy, but the projector hummed on, flipping to scans I'd bribed from a crooked corner, toxicology spikes. Timelines matching Marco's caregiving visits. Dad had confronted him weeks prior, over the outfit debts ballooning under Marco's watch. He was gonna sell, I said, voice low thunder. To cut losses, start fresh. You couldn't let that happen. The empire you stole from me. Whispers turned to shouts. Uncle Gino, Dad's old partner, slammed his fist. Marco, you son of a bitch, if this is true. It's not. Marco lunged again. But Raoul and the staff circled me now. A human shield of the overlooked. Cops burst through the doors. 2 uniforms, badges glinting under chandeliers, badges I'd tipped off anonymously an hour ago. Chicago PD. We got a call about a disturbance.
And.
Evidence of fraud. The lead cop. A grizzled vet named Kowalski. Eyed the screen. Then me. We'd met in a support group for ex-cons. He owed me for pulling his kid from a drive-by crossfire last year.
Marco Blustered.
Flashing his owner card. But Kowalski waved it off. Save it for the station, Mr.
Huso.
We've been monitoring your books for months. Tip from an insider.
Me.
Of course. The arrests came swift. Cuffs on Marco for embezzlement. Sophia for racketeering ties. She spat as they let her out. You'll rot for this. Tommy, family doesn't do this. Irony. Thy name is Russo. Mom rose then, slow as dawn, and crossed to me. The room watched, breath held. She cupped my face, hands that once kneaded dough for our survival, and whispered,
My boy.
My real boy. Then, louder, to the chaos, this is still a party. For me. Laughter bubbled.
Tentative.
And the band struck up, That's Amore. Surreal, like burying a body under balloons. But revenge is a serpent. Coils tightening post-strike. That night, after the dust settled, cops hauling siblings to lockup, relatives scattering like roaches, I sat with Mom in the empty dining room, nursing black coffee. Why'd you do it?
Ma.
A cover for them all these years. She sighed, tracing Dad's photo on the wall. Love blinds.
Tommy. And fear.
Fear keeps it chained. Turns out, she knew fragments, the skimming, the debts, but not the depths. Not the murder. I thought prison broke you, she admitted. Made you hard. But this is justice. Justice? Maybe. Or just the first layer peeled.
See.
While I'd been plotting,
Digging digital graves.
I'd uncovered more. Dad's disappearance of the supplier? Not metaphorical. A body in the Calumet River, weighted with restaurant chains, ironic.
Huh?
And Marco? He'd bragged in a drunken email to Sophia. Tommy took the fall like a champ. Now it's our turn to shine. But the real twist? Sophia wasn't just complicit. She'd sourced the poison. A gift from her real estate flips involving toxic cleanups. Blackmail material. She'd called it. For the family. Next morning, gray light filtering through frost-laced windows. I claimed the office. Deed transfer filed overnight. Loophole in Dad's will. Contingent on proven malfeasance. La Bella Vita was mine now. Legally. Staff cheered when I announced raises. Hazard pay for the drama. But the calls started. Cousins disowning. Old neighbors picketing. Russo blood feud, screamed the Tribune. Controversy brewed. Lines drawn. Was I hero or heel? Avenger or Attila? Weeks blurred into a tense limbo. Marco and Sophia lawyered up. Out on bail. Plotting countersuits. Defamation. Extortion, their mouthpieces bayed on cable news. I countered with leaks, anonymous drops to reporters, painting them as the vipers. Public ate it up. Reddit threads exploded. AITA for ratting out my crime lord fam? Polls splitting 60/40ths my way. But doubt not. Late nights, I'd pore over Dad's journals. Hidden in the safe, entries confessing his own sins. Pushing me under to protect the greater good. Was I any better? Serving revenge cold. But was it poison too? Then the escalation. A brick through the window one dawn. Scrawled with traitor. Followed by whispers from the outfit. Old ghosts Marco had stirred, demanding reparations for disrupted cash flow. I met their envoy in a Wrigleyville dive. Shadows pooling like spilled Kiani. Kid, the goon rasped, gold tooth flashing. Your brother's debts are now yours. Pay up, or the restaurant goes the way of that supplier. 20 grand a month. Or flames. I paid the first installment from petty cash. Staff didn't notice, but it bought time. Time to flip the script.
Hired a PI.
Ex-fed with a grudge against the mob. Dug up dirt. Marco's direct line to the boss. Sophia's pillow talk with a made man. Armed with tapes. I arranged to sit down. Neutral ground. The old family cabin up in Wisconsin. Pines whispering secrets. They arrived cuffed in spirit. Lawyers in tow. But I waved them off. This is Russo business.
Marco es Ned.
Sophia glared. But cracks showed, bags under eyes. Tremors in hands. What do you want?
Tommy?
The place? It's yours. Just call off the dogs. I leaned back. Fire crackling.
Nah.
I want confession. On video. For Mom. For Dad. They balked. Bargained immunity deals. Shared custody of the legacy. But I played the ace. The river body's DNA matched to Dad's gun.
Residua i de preservar.
Sing. Or swim. Marco broke first. Sobs racking as he spilled. The skimming to fund addictions. The murder to silence Dad's threats. Sophia followed. Venom turning to tears. He made me. Said it was us or him. The camera rolled. Cold witness. Uploaded anonymously to a dark web drop. Fed to the feds. Raids followed, outfit cells crumbling. Marco and Sophia flipped for lighter sentences. 10 years apiece. Minimum.
Me?
Walking free. But hollow. Mom moved in with me. The restaurant thriving under new light, community nights. Fair prices. But at parties, whispers lingered. That Russo boy. Hero or monster? Hollow victories echo loudest in empty rooms. And La Bella Vita's dining hall felt like a cathedral of ghosts those first months post-fallout. I'd expanded the menu, farm-to-table twists on Nana's recipes, drawing hipsters from Wicker Park and yuppies from the Loop, but the buzz was bittersweet. Yelp reviews gushed about the drama-fueled authenticity, but 5 stars came laced with footnotes. Food's great. But that family implosion?
Wild.
Controversy clung like marinara stains. Local podcasters dissected the Russo reckoning, debating if my mic drop was catharsis or cruelty. I tuned it out. Or tried to. Burying myself in ledgers and late-night inventories. Mom helped where she could. Her hands steadier now. Folding napkins with the precision of penance. You're doing good, Tommy, she'd say. But her eyes held questions. Did the ends justify the blood? The real tension simmered beneath. A pot on slow boil.
Marco.
From his county jail cell. Started letters, scratchy scrawl on commissary paper. Pleading brotherhood. I was weak.
Bro.
Dad's shadow loomed too big. Forgive. Sophia's were sharper. Typed missives via her attorney. Accusations of manipulation. Vows of appeal. You orchestrated this. You resentful prick. Mom will see through you. I burned them in the alley dumpster. Flames licking like vindication. But sleep evaded. Dreams replayed the party. Tiramisu exploding. Mom's tears. The siren's wail. Was I the server seated low? Or the owner pulling strings? Enter Lena. She'd been a line cook under Marco, tough broad from Bridgeport. Tattoos snaking up arms like river maps. Laugh like a .38 bark. We'd flirted in the chaos, her slipping the extra garlic bread during shifts. Post-arrest, she stayed on.
Promoted to sous-chef.
Someone's gotta keep your ass from burning the place down, she'd quip, bumping my hip in the cramped kitchen. One rain-lashed night, after closing, we cracked a bottle of Dad's Reserve in the walk-in cooler, condensation beading like sweat. "You're not the villain they paint," she said, breath warm on my neck. "But you're dancing close to the edge." We tangled there, metal shelves rattling, her nails digging crescents into my back raw.
Urgent.
The kind of sex that chases demons. After, sprawled on flour sacks, she traced my prison tats. "What's the play now?"
Tommy?
"You got the keys to the kingdom." Ride off into the sunset. I stared at the frost-glazed door. Sunsets are for suckers. There's unfinished business. Unfinished, the outfit. There, reparations had hiked to 30 grand monthly. Goons tailing my Uber runs. Graffiti tagging the alley. Pay or pray. Kowalski warned me off. Let the feds handle it. Russo. "You're clean now." But clean felt like a lie. Dad's sins stained my veins.
I dove diper.
PI feeding me dossiers. The boss. Frankie, the fish Moretti. A relic with a penthouse in Gold Coast and a penchant for fishing bodies. That is. His lieutenant, Sophia's ex. A slick operator named Vito, who'd ghosted her post-scandal, but still pulled strings. I baited the hook. Anonymous tip to Moretti. Russo boy knows the river secrets. Meet at the old pier. Midnight. Wind off the lake whipped salt in my face as I waited. .38 tucked in my waistband. Dad's relic. Oiled and loaded.
Moretti arrived solo.
Trench coat flapping like bat wings. "Kid," he grunted, breath reeking of anisette. "Your old man owed me." "You settling." I tossed a duffel, fake cash. Wired to trace. Consider it interest. "But I want out."
Clean.
He chuckled. Wet and mirthless. "Clean? In this town? Dream on." That's when Vito slunk from shadows.
Peace drawn.
Betrayal 2.0, Sophia's parting gift. Her appeal leverage. "Boss says hi," Vito sneered. I fired first. Low and center, training from yard scraps paying off. Vito crumpled.
Gurgling.
Moretti bolted. But I winged him. Knee blooming red. "Tell your fishtails to the feds." I spat. Sirens already converging. My backup call to Kowalski. Headlines screamed, next day. Mob hit thwarted at Navy Pier. Russo heir in crossfire. Hero again. Or target. Lena patched me up in the walk-in. Stitches and swears.
Jesus.
"Tommy, you're gonna get us all killed." But her kiss said stay.
Mom.
Hearing the news. Clutched her rosary. Enough.
Figlio.
Let God sort the devils.
God?
He'd been on vacation since '05. The climax brewed at Easter. Family tradition twisted. Paroled early for good behavior, flipped testimony, Marco and Sophia demanded visitation. Court ordered. At the restaurant. Neutral ground.
Ha.
Tension crackled as they entered. Gaunt in jumpsuits. Escorts flanking. Mom hugged them fierce. Tears flowing free. "My babies." I hung back. Server apron on. Irony my armor. Table for traitors?
Marco mattered.
Sophia just stared. Hollow-eyed. Dinner unfolded like a minefield. Small talk over lamb. Barbs over wine. "Nice spread, Tommy," Marco said. Fork stabbing. Beats prison slop. Sophia chimed. Bet you sleep sound now. King of the castle. I smiled. Pouring Chianti. Slept like shit for 20 years. Your turn. Mom bridged, reminiscing Dad's jokes. But cracks spidered. Then Marco dropped the bomb. We know about the pier.
Bro.
Vito was coming clean, said you pulled the trigger on the supplier back in '05. Dad's gun. Your prints wiped. But not perfect. My fork clattered. The secret's underbelly. I'd known about the hit. Even helped hide the body. Teenage loyalty. Dad's one favor. Covered in my confession to muddy waters. Lies, I growled, but doubt flickered. Sophia leaned in. Voice silk poison. Mom deserves truth. All of it. The room polarized, escorts tense. Mom torn. Who to believe? The betrayer avenged, or the family fractured? I stood, chair scraping judgment. Truth? Here's mine. Unplugged the security cam, live feed to a lawyer's office, and confessed. The body dump. The cover. Gasps. Then silence.
Marco laughed. Bitter. See?
We're all monsters. But in that raw strip, sides blurred, no saints. Just survivors clawing American dirt. The confession hung in the air like incense at a funeral mass. Thick and choking, as the security feed blinked its unblinking eye. Mom's face crumpled. Not in shock but sorrow, the kind that etches permanent lines, like the Chicago River's bends worn by time.
Tommy.
You too. Her whisper cut deeper than any shank in Statesville. Marco's laugh died to a smirk. Triumphant yet tragic. Told ya.
Ma.
He's no better. Sophia nodded. A mirror of his malice. But her eyes, damn them, held a glint of something human. Fractured recognition. The escort shifted, hands hovering near holsters. Sensing the powder keg.
Outside.
Good Friday rain lashed the windows, turning Little Italy's streets to mirrors of our mess. I sank back into my chair, the apron strings suddenly a noose. Not better.
Ma.
Just buried deeper. Dad called. I answered. Like you covered for Marco's first deal. Or Sophia's joyrides in the till. It was the lashing out. The deflection that poisons feuds. But truth's serum flows both ways. Mom recoiled. Then straightened. Elena's fire. The immigrant steel that crossed oceans. Enough. This table's seen blood enough. No more secrets. No more thrones. She rose. Frail but fierce. And circled us, her prodigal brood, like a priest absolving sins. We eat. We talk. Or we end it all. We ate. Forks scraping plates in uneasy rhythm. The lamb congealing under scrutiny. Talk trickled, childhood yarns. Dad's botched cannoli attempts. The time Marco set the awning ablaze with fireworks. Laughter bubbled. Forced at first, then genuine glue cracking under heat. But undercurrents pulled, Marco probing my reign, Sophia floating business tweaks from her cell block think tank. Let us consult, she cooed. Family expertise. I parried. Expertise in screwing family? Barbs flew. But Mom mediated. Her presence the only law. Post-meal. As escorts herded them out, Marco paused at the door. Rain dripping from his buzz cut. You're still my brother.
Tommy.
Even if we're both damned. Sophia lingered. Hand brushing mine electric. Unintended. Don't let it consume you. We did. Doors swung shut, leaving echoes. Lena found me later.
Skrubbing counters till Knuckles bled.
You okay?
Boss.
I pulled her close. Her warmth a bulwark. Define okay. Told the truth. Got a half-assed truce. But the outfit's still circling. Fed sniffing my skirts. She snorted, wiping suds from my brow. Priorities?
Hustle.
Start with not getting whacked. Wise words. But action lagged. Moretti, the wounded boss. Vanished post-peer, rumors of a Canadian exile. But his tentacles lingered. A car bomb scare at the restaurant, defused. Anonymous tip, ramped the paranoia. I installed cams. Armed the staff, pepper spray only. Legal line. Slept with the .38 under pillow. Lena moved in. Her Bridgeport grit a shield mornings. She'd brew espresso strong as resolve. Plotting escapes. Sell the place.
Tommy.
Tahoe's got lakes without bodies. Sell? The thought curdled like sour cream. La Bella Vita was vein and ventricle. Dad's pulse in every brick. Besides, the will's loophole bound it, family held till redemption. Vague as a politician's promise. But courts upheld it, forcing co-management illusions. Marco and Sophia.
Via proxies.
Meddled, vetoing my farm source switch. Pushing premium markups that priced out the neighborhood. Petty wars, menu swaps at dawn. Supplier bribes uncovered. Public split deepened. Protests outside. Save Russo legacy versus. Boycott blood money. TikToks viralized our saga. Filters turning family photos to horror flicks. Then the twist that tilted the axis. Mom's diagnosis. Pancreatic. Stage 3, swift as a gut punch. Hidden by her stoic smiles. Don't tell the others, she begged. In the oncology, waiting room. Fluorescent hum mocking mercy. Let them rot in peace. But peace? I smuggled her to specialists. Mayo Clinic drives through Wisconsin's green vales. Lena packing care baskets like ammo. Chemo rounds blurred days. I'd run the restaurant solo. Shadows lengthening. Whispers grew. Tommy's hoarding Ma. Keeping her from us. Guilt gnawed. A rat in the walls. I arranged video calls, Marco and Sophia. Pixel ghosts in orange. Faces gaunt with want. Let us visit, Marco pleaded. She's our mother too. Courts agreed. Supervised, Easter truce extended. The reunion?
A powder ket relit.
Hospital room. Beeping monitors symphony to strife.
Mom.
Bald under scarves. Mustered strength. Boys.
Girl.
Listen. She doled wisdom. Forgive. Rebuild. Or die divided. But Marco, fresh from a shiv scare in lockup, accused. He's poisoning you against us.
Ma.
Like he did Dad. Sophia echoed. Tears crocodile. We're the victims here. I snapped. The dam breaking. Victims? I did your time. Hid your bodies. Monitors spiked. Nurses swarmed. In the melee, Mom clutched my hand. Whisper fierce. Them or you?
Tommy?
Choose. Heart ripped, American family. Land of divided loyalties. I chose truth. Arranged the visit. But with strings, their confessions. Notarized. Absolving my role in the supplier hit. Leverage for her care. Or closure.
Blurred.
As summer scorched Chicago. Heat waves mirroring inner boils. The outfit struck back. Vito's brother. A mid-level enforcer named Gino, no relation. Thank Christ. Torched a delivery truck, prosciutto up in flames. Insurance claim denied for arson ties. Feds swooped. But evidence pointed to me. Planted shell casings from Dad's gun. Self-defense setup, Kowalski muttered over beers. Moretti's framing you to reclaim the debt. Cornered. I flipped the board. Met Gino in a South Side warehouse. Lena's PI buddy wiring me. Debts paid, I said. Sliding photos, not cash. But Moretti's Canadian love nest. IRS havens exposed. Call it square. Or your boss's empire sinks. Gino laughed. Then lunged, knife flash. I dodged. .38 barking, grazed shoulder.
Non-lethal.
He folded. Spilling. Sophia put the contract. Said you'd stolen her life. Betrayal's echo. Endless. Sophia. From her cell. Denying via lawyer. Lies. He's paranoid. But logs confirmed. Collect call transcripts. Her voice venom. End him. For Mom. The public feast. Leaked tapes. Headlines, sisters, deadly plot. Sides shattered further. No clear villain. Just a hydra of hurt.
Mom.
Hearing. Withered. My girl.
How?
I held her as chemo dripped. Lena's hand on my shoulder. We're ending this.
Ma.
All of it. Plan coalesced. One final play. A sting to bury the beasts. The sting's blueprint unspooled in stolen hours. Sketched on napkins over midnight espressos in the restaurant's back booth. Lena's idea. Her Bridgeport Street smart sharpening my vengeance to a scalpel. No more half measures.
Tommy.
We draw him all out. Feds waiting in the wings. The bait, a family summit, announced via Mom's hospital proxy, neutral ground. The Wisconsin cabin. Labor Day weekend. One last chance to heal. The invite read. Laced with saccharin. Marco and Sophia bit. Paroled for the occasion. Handlers in tow. Moretti's remnant crew? Lured with a promise of debt forgiveness papers. Forged. Of course. Tagged with trackers. Cabin loomed like a bad memory. Log walls scarred by boyhood brawls. Lake view mocking serenity. I arrived first. .38 oiled. GoPro hidden in the rafters. Live stream to Kowalski's team. Parked a mile out. Mom opted out. Too frail. Your fight now. Son. Make it count. Lena stayed in Chicago. Manning the fort, don't die.
Husel. I've got plans for you. Herr Kisslingert.
Anchor and storm. Marco rolled up at noon. SUV crunching gravel. Sophia shotgun thinner. Haunted. But eyes alight with scheme. Handlers hung back. Perimeter check. Hugs were stiff. Words barbed. Nice digs. Tommy, Marco grunted. Dumping duffels. Cozy for coffin. Sophia smirked. Unpacking wine. To buried hatchets. We circled the kitchen table. Pine scarred from Dad's carving lessons. And poured, Merlot deep as debt. Talk meandered. Restaurant tweaks. Mom's prognosis, guarded. Her wish. Then the probe. Why now? Sophia asked. Swirling stem. Guilt? Or glory? I leaned in. Fire crackling.
Truth.
All cards down. That's when I played the hand, laptop whirring. Files spilling. Sophia's call logs to Gino. Marco's prison drops to Moretti. You didn't stop at poison. You escalated. For what? Legacy? Or just spite? Marco's glass shattered in grip. Shards glittering like accusations. You think you're clean? That's a plier. Dad's mess. But you hid it. Accomplice.
Tommy.
Accomplice. Sophia nodded. Voice steel. And the peer? You shot first. Murder by degree. The room polarized anew, bro against bro. Sis the serpent. I countered with their sins ledger, skimming tallies, eviction ledgers, the poison vial receipt traced to her purse. We're all stained. Question is, who bleeds first? Tension coiled. Serpentine. As dusk bled purple over the lake. Handlers radioed check-ins. I stalled with dinner, venison dad style. Irony on plate. Then the knock, Gino's crew. 3 goons in leather. Moretti's proxy via sat phone. Papers?
Russo.
They piled in. Oblivious to cams.
Guns bulging.
Marco blanched, Sophia paled, actors or allies. What is this?
Marco hissed.
My insurance, I said. Hitting send, files beaming to feds. Trackers pinging locations. Goons drew. But handlers burst through, Kowalski's SWAT. Vests gleaming. Federal agents. Hands up. Chaos erupted. Furniture splintering. Shouts echoing off logs.
Agoam winged Marco. Strabulit.
Shoulder bloom, irony's bite. Sophia screamed. Diving for cover, I tackled her. Shielding unintended. Traitor, she spat. But fistfight yielded to cuffs. In the fray, Marco cornered me by the hearth. Blood-slicking grip. You set us up. All of us. His punch landed. Stars bursting. But I countered, haymaker from prison playbook. Cracking jaw. We grappled. Brothers in blood. Until agents pried. It's over. Marco. He spat red. For you? Maybe. Mom'll know the whole truth. Extracted to Chicago dawn. Suspects scattered. Goons to Supermax. Marco and Sophia to revokes. Life bids looming.
Me?
Questioned. Released, heroes pass. My shots, defensive. But the real interrogation waited. Mom's bedside vigil. Lena drove. Her hand steady on gear shift. You alive, battered. But breathing.
Mom.
Tubes snaking like accusations. Heard the recap flat. Factual. Tears traced. My boys.
My girl.
All gone. I nodded. Throat concrete. For the best?
Ma.
Clean slate. She squeezed weak. No such thing.
Tommy.
But mercy. Try mercy. Her words wormed. Doubt's seed. Public storm raged. Russo cabin bloodbath. Civil war ends in cuffs. Debates flared. Podcasts pitting justice served versus family annihilated. I shuttered the restaurant temporary. Staff on paid leave. Lena and I hold up. Her cooking experiments a bomb. Irish-Italian fusions. Laughs amid steam. Intimacy deepened. Not just bodies but blueprints. Futures whispered. Kids maybe. A life beyond vendetta. But Mercy's test came swift. Moretti. From exile. Sued defamation. Claiming entrapment. Discovery unearthed Dad's full ledger. Not just one body. But a trail. Competitors vanished. Debts collected. My complicity? Deeper than I'd admitted. Teenage errands masking hits. Feds circled. Immunity dangling for testimony. Rat on ghosts, Kowalski urged. End the cycle. Cycles pull? Sophia's trial loomed. Her defense, coerced by brothers' war.
Marco echoed.
Flipping on me, Tommy masterminded the supplier cover to inherit. Lies with truth veneer. Splitting loyalties.
Mom.
Rallying for court. Testified neutral. They're all my heart. Broken. But beating. Her words swayed jury. Hung. Retrials pending. In the limbo, twist uncoiled, a letter. Sophia's hand, smuggled via guard. Tommy, I sourced the poison.
Yes.
But for Dad's pain, cancer. Early. He begged. To spare Mom the watch. Marco knew. Hit it. Forgive or finish us. Gut punch. Mercy's mask. Dad's suicide. Cloaked as murder? Twist that reframed all. My fall. There rises. Built on a mercy kill. Debate ignited internal. Expose. Destroy remnants? Or bury? Honor's end? Lena voted seal. Let sleeping dogs drown.
Mom.
Fading. Echoed. Live. Tommy. Not avenge. Bearing Dad's final secret felt like swallowing glass, sharp. Inevitable. Shredding from within as autumn stripped Chicago bare. Leaves skittered Little Italy's gutters like fleeing accusations, mirroring my midnight walks. Collar up against wind. .38 heavy in pocket. Mind churning Sophia's letter into confetti. Mercy kill?
Dad.
The Titan. Reduced to pleading for poison? It reframed the Empire's cracks, not greed's spawn, but despair's desperate dam. Marco's skimming? Coping cash for Dad's experimental treatments. Black market hops from Mexico. My fall? Distraction from the real autopsy, cancer, not heart. All for Mom's illusion of wholeness. I burned the letter in the restaurant's oven. Flames devouring ink like absolution. But ashes lingered in lungs. Lena noticed. Her Bridgeport radar pinging unrest. Talk. Russo. Or I'll spike your sauce with truth serum. Over cannoli and confession. Her eyes softened. Not pity, but partnership. So what now? Play saint. Seal the tomb. I traced her knuckles. Scarred from cleavers and life. Saint's a stretch. But yeah, let him swing on lesser sins. No need to drag Ma down. Reopening La Bella Vita hit like a soft launch in hell. Velvet ropes. Media blackout. Invite only for loyalists. Staff returned heroes. Bonuses burning holes in aprons. Raoul manned the door. Bouncer badge gleaming. First night buzz tentative. Old neighbors tentative toasts. To new beginnings. But shadows lurked. Moretti's suit dragged. Discovery dredging Dad's ghosts. Feds leaned harder. Kowalski in my office. Testify.
Tommy.
Full scope, the hits. The covers. Immunity for the restaurant. Immunity? Or Infamy's sequel. I stalled. Lawyered up, sharp suit from Sophia's old firm. Irony's wink. Meanwhile, Mom rallied. Chemo's ebb granting lucidity. We picnicked in Grant Park. Pigeons scavenging crumbs like scavenged truths. Proud of you. Son, she said, wind teasing gray wisps. For stopping the bleed. Her hand in mine. Frail but fierce, Elena's essence. The glue that bound our fractures. Trials bifurcated the holidays, Marco's first. Embezzlement rack focused. Courtroom in loop. Marble halls echoing footsteps like judgments. I testified neutral, facts. No flourish, he skimmed.
Yes.
But context, family debts. Jury split. Mistrial, controversy's gift. Media frenzy, Russo relapse. Sophia's followed. Racketeering tangled with coercion claims. Her stand, tear-streaked. Tommy drove us here, his grudge a gun. My cross? Measured. You chose the bullets. Soft. Hung again. Appeals labyrinth. Public cleaved deeper. X-threads, formerly Twitter, ablaze. Polls, who wins Russo war, tilting my way 55 of 45. But comments venomous. All crooks, versus Tommy's the real Don. Lena shielded. Curating feeds. Ignore the noise. Focus on us. Us deepened. Ring shopping in secret. Her yes a quiet vow amid clatter. But vows test in tempests. Outfit remnants struck subtle. A supplier ghosted. Health inspector tips on code violations. Paranoia peaked. I varnished the .38 nightly. Dreams replaying peer shots. Winter solstice brought the gut twist. Mom's rally faltered. Hospice whispers. Family Summit 2.0, Marco and Sophia. Chains rattling. Bedside via video. Room heavy with pine scent and painkillers. Monitors beeping dirge. Kids, Mom rasped. Screens glowing faces. Marco's bruised from yard beef. Sophia's hollowed by solitary. No more fighting. Promise. They nodded. Sobs sinking, performance or purge. Then her ask, Tommy. The restaurant. Share it. After.
Share?
The word barbed. Legacy's thorn. But her eyes pleading, like Dad's last night, cracked resolve. For you.
Ma.
Always.
Post-call.
I deeded fractions, 30% each. Vested post-release. Lawyers balked, leverage loss. But Lena backed, blood's thicker than ink. Controversy crested. Leaks branded me soft. Ex erupting Russo redemption or relapse? Hospice blurred January's ice. Mom fading. Story spilling, her Ellis Island youth. Dad's courtship dances. Loves the real revenge. Tommy. Eats hate alive. Her last breath. Dawn light gilding rails. Was peace, together. Always. Funeral packed St. Michael's. Eulogy split. Marco's proxy venom. My words bomb. Burial under family plot. Dirt thumping like heartbeats. Grief's raw edge honed the next play. Moretti's suit peaked, depot room sterile as surgery. His counsel grilled. You admit complicity in '05 disappearance. I paused. Water glass sweating. Truth or tomb? Dad's call. I was kid. Followed. But the seal held. No full ledger dump. Judge tossed on technicals, statute, jurisdiction. Victory Pyrrhic. But outfit slunk deeper shadows. Spring thawed grudges. Releases neared. Good behavior buys. Marco out first. Ankle monitors leash. Diner meet. Neutral Waffle House grease and grace. He slid in. Gaunt but grinning. Bro. Water under the bridge. I passed coffee. Black as past. Bridge burned. But Ma's will stands co-own.
Détente tentative.
Talks of relaunch, his charm. My grit. Sophia followed. Parole hearing swayed by Mom's letter. Forged. Her hand. Pre-fade. Coffee shop sit down. Her eyes wary. Truce. Provisional. No snakes. Rebuild brewed. La Bella Vita 2.0. Russo redemption menu. Affordable classics. Charity nights for ex-cons. Public bought in. Lines snaking blocks. But tension simmered. Marco's ideas veering shady. Sophia's contacts opportunistic. Lena. Now fiancé. Mediated. Eyes open. Heart guarded. Then the debate igniting twist. Anonymous drop. USB at door. Footage grainy me. '05. Hauling weighted chains to the river. Timestamp irrefutable. Note. Your turn to fall. Vito's ghost. Frame job? Or leak from my own depot slip. Sides realigned. Marco denying involvement. Sophia swearing innocence. Feds reopened. Spotlight hot. Confrontation at the cabin, echo chamber. We three. No handlers. Guns on table unloaded. Trust's test. Who sent it? I demanded. Marco shrugged. Your enemies? Boss man. Sophia's gaze flickered. Or ours. You stirred the nest. Accusations volleyed. Fists clenched, then laughter. Hysterical. We're fucked, Marco wheezed. All of us. In that crack. Bond glimpsed, not forgiveness, but fraternity forged in fire. We torched the USB, lake swallowing ashes. Feds, stalled by chain of custody gaps. Life lurched forward. Wedding plans with Lena. Small, pier sunset. No Russos but us. Vows exchanged. Waves lapping like applause. Wedding waves receded into honeymoon haze. Door County bluffs. Cherry orchards blushing pink. Lena's laughter chasing gulls. 2 weeks bliss. Unplugged. .38 left in the safe like a shed skin. This is it. Tommy, she murmured, tangled in sheets overlooking green. The after. After, vengeance's echo fading.
But scars itched.
Back in Chicago. Summer swelter greeted like an old foe, humidity hugging. Horns blaring judgment. La Bella Vita hummed under triad tiller, Marco handling front-of-house schmooze. Sophia backroom books. Me the pulse, kitchen oversight. Supplier wrangles. Synergy sparked uneasy, his charm packed tables. Her ledgers balanced mostly. My recipes rooted authenticity. Revenue spiked 40%. Neighborhood nodding approval, Russos rising. But Fisher's faulted. Marco's tips from shady pals. Sophia's late-night calls to investors. Trust's tightrope. Wobbled by whispers. Public pulse throbbed controversial. Docuseries pitch from HBO. Blood and basil. The Russo reckoning. I nixed. But leaks fueled frenzy. X spaces debating. Was Tommy's revenge righteous? Votes volleyed 52-48 my favor. But detractors dug. Prison plea was cover for murder. Old suppliers can surfaced. Civil suit looming, wrongful death. Dad's shadow dragging. Lena anchored. Her bump denounced shy. Junior Russo. Spice or mild. Joy jolted. Softening edges. But fate's fickle. Ultrasound comm shattered by call. Kowalski. Voice gravel. Moretti's dead. Heart. They say. But whispers point to you. That USB. Traced to a burner you bought. Frame within frame. Vito's ghost giggling. Feds raided dawn. Restaurant tossed. Me in cuffs. Interrogation room reek. Coffee like bile. Talk. Russo. Agent pressed. Tape rolling. The hit. Payback for the suit. I stonewalled. Lawyer inbound. No comment. But doubt drilled. Marco's alibi ironclad. Sophia's too. Coincidence or cabal. Released on bond. I stormed the restaurant. Staff scattering. Who? I roared at siblings. Gathered tense. Marco feigned shock. Us? After the truce? Sophia's eyes. That flicker again. Paranoia. Tommy. It's eating you. Lena mediated. Hand on belly. Evidence. Not emotion. PI dive. Burner traced to a PO. Box. Sophia's old realty alias. Confront raw. Her office. Files flying. You framed me. For what? Full control. She crumbled. Tears hot. Not frame. Justice. You took our freedom. I take yours. Mom's will. Equal shares. But you hoard power. Tit for tat. Betrayal's boomerang. Marco confessed complicity. I sourced the drop. Tired of your throne. Brothers mutiny. Sisters sting. Heart fractured. I deeded out full split. Legal locks. Take it. Choke on it. Walked out. Lena trailing. We start fresh. Away. But fresh? Ink dried. Then Mom's ghost intervened. Will's codicil unearthed. Restaurant to Tommy Soul. If siblings prove, redemption via deed. Not word. Redemption? Their plots proved nil. Courts upheld. Empire mine, but Pyrrhic.
Poisoned.
Climax crested fall. Supplier kin suit trial. Courtroom coliseum. Plaintiffs paraded grief. Photos of a vanished. Empty chairs echoing. My stand. Dad's sin. My silence. Youth's folly. Not malice. But cross-tour. USB footage aired, leaked. Me hauling chains, damning. Despite age. Jury deliberated days. City holding breath. Verdict, liable. Payout crushing. Restaurant sale forced? No. Jury added twist. Punitive to charity. Russo name. Mercy veiled as mandate. Public split seismic. Karma's Kitchen versus. Russo redemption real? Siblings slunk. Share surrendered. Marco to rehab. Sophia to therapy writs. Sorry. Scrawled notes read. Hollow. But healing's hook. Lena birthed in winter's grip. Boy. Blue-eyed brawler. Named Vinny too. Hospital glow softened scars. Her whisper. Our empire now. Restaurant reborn. Community co-op. Shares to staff. Name Russo's redemption. Vinny too's cries pierce the dawn like reveille. Tiny fists flailing against the empire we'd forged from ash. Lena's milk-scent nursery in our Pilsen row house. Walls papered with ultrasound sonnets. Fatherhood hit seismic. Diapers daisy-chained to dawn feeds. His gummy grins disarming defenses I'd armored for decades. Look at you. Softa, Lena teased. Passing the bottle. Her postpartum glow haloing exhaustion. Soft? Maybe. But the old itch lingered. Vigilance's ghost. Scanning shadows for serpents. La Bella Vita's co-op bloom drew crowds. Neighborhood buy-in. Profits pooled for scholarships. Ex-con training. Raoul's CEO day-to-day. His grin broad as Lake Michigan. Marco visited sporadic. Rehab polish shining. Uncle duties tentative. Little man's got your fire, he'd say. Bouncing awkwardly. Sophia rarer. Therapy thawing her ice. Sporadic texts. Proud of the pivot. Truces tenuous. But threads. Families frayed weave. Mending slow. Controversy clung chronic. Supplier payout drained reserves. But charity pivots spun gold. Russo gives back galas. Celebs slumming for selfies. X evolved, from feud forums to folklore. My arc anti-hero's handbook. But twist's tale. Moretti's heart. Autopsy leaked. Poison. Slow burn. Vial matching Sophia's old source. Her denial. Planted. Marco's too. Feds circled anew. But evidence evaporated. Vito's ghost. Laughing last. I chased closure solo. Calumet River midnight. Chains long rusted. Dropping Dad's .38 into depths. Plunk echoing like full stop. Rest. Old man. Secrets stay sunk. Wind whispered absolution. Or accusation. Blurred in black water. Years telescoped. Vinny toddling tables. Lena's food truck empire. Russo roadside. Co-op thriving. Siblings reintegrated. Marco, Sue. Sophia events, wary waltz. But workable. Mom's grave visits. Flowers fresh. We made it.
Ma.
Messy. But mended. Final twist dropped Christmas 29. Letter. Anonymous. Postmarked Canada, Moretti's hand. Frail. Kid. The poison?
Self.
Cancer. Like your old man. Frame was mercy. End the cycle before it claimed you. Burn this. Enclosed. Deed to his Gold Coast pad. For the boy. Clean start. Debate eternal. Suicide packed across graves? Or manipulation's last laugh. I burned it. Deeded pad to co-op fund. No sides. Just survival. American as apple pie laced with strychnine.
Now.
Vinny on hip. Surveying dining room hum. Laughter layering loss. We raise a glass. To betrayals buried. Revenges retired. To family fractured. Fierce. Forever. But in quiet. I wonder, hero, heel, or just human, carving life from chaos. You decide.